Welcome back, everyone, to this week's episode of The Chrysalis Effect, where we are transforming mind, money, and manifestations. I am Monique White, your host, and I want to welcome you to today's topic of the sharpest sword. The sharpest sword. But before we really delve in and get started, I want to encourage you to hit that subscribe button, to like, comment, and share this out to 3 people. Share it out to 3 people. I appreciate it so much and thank you in advance. So, the sharpest sword. Has anyone said to you, whatever I say, I don't mean any harm? Have you ever heard that? Well, today we're going to talk about that and many other phrases and the pearls of them and what you need to watch out for. The Bible tells us that the power of life and death are in the tongue. Specifically, the King James Version puts it this way: death and life are in the power of the tongue, and they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. That's Proverbs 18:21. Words can cut like a knife. And it really bugs me, and it has always bugged me, when people think that they can speak to someone any old type of way. And I recently heard someone say, whatever I say, I don't mean anything. I don't mean any harm. Well, let's unpack that statement. Let's unpack it. Because why would you need to preface whatever you're about to say with a statement like that? Obviously, you realize that what you're about to say might be harsh, hurtful, demeaning, etc. You yourself perceive that harm might be done, but you decide to do it anyway, and you preface it with, I don't mean any harm. Well, yes you do. Because if you didn't mean anything by it, there would be no reason to say it. Or, have you heard this one? I say this in love. Anytime you have to preface a statement or a comment with, I say this in love, I don't mean any harm, or you know my heart, I hate that particular one because no, I don't. Anytime you have to say any of those things or anything like them, then maybe what you're about to say doesn't need to be said. Or shouldn't be said. Think about that. Proverbs 17:27 tells us, whoever restrains his words has knowledge. And verse 28 goes on to say, even a fool who keeps silent is considered wise. Then you look in 10 verse 19, you read, when words are many, transgression is not lacking. But whoever restrains his lips is prudent. So, reading those texts, reading that text, those verses, it shows you the importance of minding your speech. The power of life and death are in the tongue, and those that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. So I wanted to give you a couple strategies, a couple tips to mind your tongue, so to speak. First, ask yourself if what you're about to say really needs to be said at all. Are you adding anything to the discourse, anything to the conversation? We all have been in those conversations or run across someone who is or seems to be just talking to hear themselves speak, spouting nonsense. Or that person who just speaks up and repeats what someone else just previously said. Why? It's attention, right? That person is seeking attention. It's to one up somebody sometimes also. Because when you do that and you repeat that same sentence, that same thought, that same point that someone else just pointed out but was discarded, that you now repeat and gets acknowledged, what is the effect of that? The effect of it is to demean the person or discount the previous person that said it, and draw attention to yourself as you repeat it and possibly gain higher value. Which leads to the second strategy, which is to examine the intent behind it. Examine it. What is your thought behind it? What is the purpose? Is there a purpose? Are you seeking to build up, or are you seeking to tear down? And mind you, it can be a mixed intent, like I just illustrated in the prior step. Ephesians 4:29 says, "Let no corrupting talk come out of your mouths, but only such as is good for building up, as fits the occasion, that it may give grace to those who hear." What is the intent, the purpose behind it? Is it gossiping? Is it backbiting? Maybe the topic had a legitimate purpose at one point, but that purpose has been fulfilled, and now by bringing it up time and time again, its legitimacy has been lost, and the effect is now gossiping and tearing someone down. Our speech, just like life, does not remain stagnant. What's the intent? And once you do 1 and 2, then think about how you're going to say whatever is on your mind. You ask yourself that it needs to be, whether it needs to be said. Yes, you examine the intent. You have no malintent. Consider how you need to say or how to deliver that information. Maybe it's for whatever you have to say is for the purpose of correction. Consider with that purpose the different perspectives of what you're about to say, and also consider the receiver. Some people may be more sensitive to others. Some people have had previous experiences, so they might take it as an attack, or they might not be open to receiving it. And when you consider different perspectives, consider how different ways that you can say the same thing. And then that leads to the next, which is, are you the person that needs to say it? Are you the person that needs to say it? Some folks might be more receptive to receive the same thing from someone else than they may be from you. So are you the person that needs to say it? I'll give you an example. I was talking to my son about a particular issue that he brought it up, and I had noticed it, but as I said to him, it wasn't my place to say anything. It wasn't my place to say anything. The information needed to come from, or that observation needed to come from someone else. So are you the person? Are you the person to speak on it? And then lastly, monitor your tone. Monitor your tone. We have all heard the saying, it's not what you say, but how you say it. Tone goes a long way. Nonverbal cues go a long way. And I submit to you that tone and nonverbal cues can actually negate the actual words. If you say you are sorry, but your attitude is stank, you're communicating that you're not really sorry. Think about that 4 or 5 year old that maybe hit another kid or was acting out, and you tell them to go say sorry, and what you get is sorry. Well, yeah, they're not really sorry. They're doing it because their parent told them they had to say sorry. They're sorry that they got in trouble, but they haven't matured enough to really understand the ramifications or the impact on the other person. So monitor your tone. How you say things goes a long way. Your nonverbal cues goes a long way. If you say you're open to something, but when I see you, you're hugging your elbows, you're communicating to me that you're not really open to whatever is being said or suggested, right? The sharpest sword. Now, why am I saying these things? Why is it important for me to talk about this in the Chrysalis effect? How does it relate to the Chrysalis effect in transforming your mind, money, and manifestations? Well, you can cancel out your blessings, delay your manifestations by the words that you speak. Wow, I'm going to repeat that. You can cancel out your blessings and delay your manifestations, even cancel your manifestation by the words that you speak. Look at the ending of that proverb that I quoted at the top of the show. Death and life are in the power of the tongue. Here's the ending. And they that love it shall eat the fruit thereof. Shall eat the fruit thereof. You don't hear people quoting the ending too much. You hear the first part all the time, but you never really hear the ending of that verse. Those that love it will eat the fruit thereof. Your tongue can obstruct the move of God on your life, destroy relationships, and cancel out blessings. We will all have to account one day for not just what we do, but what we say. 1 Peter 3:10 says, whoever desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. So speak wisely. When you go to gossip, don't. As you're getting ready to put your lips on someone, stop and consider. While you're gearing up to lay out that manager for slow service, take a breath. Or when you're getting ready to render an unsolicited opinion, hold up. Review those 5 steps that I spoke about earlier. Does it need to be said? What's the intent behind it? How are you going to say it? Are you going to come from a place of love? Or from a place of judgment, criticism, and maliciousness? Are you the person to even say it? What will your tone and your nonverbal cues communicate? Let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. All your work on your mindset, all of your hard work for achieving and walking in, embracing the purpose and promise for your life can all be negated by your speech. By your speech. As we're going through this week, December, as we're wrapping up 2021, let's take a moment to reflect and consider our words and our statements. There should be no qualifications like, you know I don't mean any harm. You know my heart. I say this in love. Because do we really know your heart? Are you really speaking from a place of love? It's been a rocky road, 2021. This holiday season, let's make a decision to speak in kindness without any qualifications. Let's make the determination to speak life, to build one another up, and thereby open ourselves up for all that God has for us. Speak life. The power of life and death are in the tongue, the sharpest sword. Thank you, everyone, for joining me today. As always, if you want to connect with me, you can follow me and connect with me on all social media channels at Triumph SVCS. That is Triumph SVCS, the abbreviation for services. Please hit that subscribe button, like, comment, and share. If you want to schedule a connection call, you may do so on the social media channels themselves or on my website at www.triumphsvcs.com. Thank you for joining. Have a great day, and I will see you right back here next week on The Chrysalis Effect.